Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever rendition of LLR Backstage. And today, I have my first ever interviewee, Cassius, or also known as DP123 King. Welcome, Cassius.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Um, Not too bad. Obviously, the world is what it is right now.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna ask you a few questions about, real you, just yourself and your kayfabe self, what your kayfabe self would actually think. So it's like a bunch of just questions, and I'm just gonna give them to you. So does that sound alright?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Alright. Okay, so the first question I have lined up here is, what was your main reason for your departure from Raw, SmackDown, and various other brands? As many have seen over the past month, you did leave the Raw brand, and actually, well, you did hand the loser TWT spot to me, so.
Yeah, and you're welcome for that.
Yeah.
Nah. So obviously back in, I think it was, I'm gonna say December, January. I think it was. I left SmackDown, and
Yeah.
I jumped ship to Raw. Nothing against the management at all. It's just I personally found it quite boring to predict SmackDown and Raw. Well, at the time SmackDown. So I wanted to jump ship to Raw and do something a bit different. And then Raw turned out to be just as bad. um, and on my census form as well, I filled out the real reasons and shit. Sorry, I can't swear, can I? How there's not really much imagination in the matches,
Fair.
and how there's quite a lack of prestige or value to the
Almost
actual
like you wanted to
bookings.
give your own input in matches, in a way.
Um,
You want your
Not
own,
necessarily,
like,
not necessarily my own input. It's more the case of how there's only like two titles that can be defended
mm-hmm.
on a weekly show, being the TWT or the Hardcore. Now, I said it on the form as well, but I feel like there should be, even if it's just like once or twice a year, like you can have the occasional world title match, or you have the occasional Intercontinental, or the US, sorry, yeah, or the other titles. I can't remember what the other stuff off the top of my head.
Yeah, world
Like,
title,
I've never held a title. I've never held a title. Alright? I don't know.
like IC and stuff like that, tag, trios, stuff like that.
Precisely, yeah. Like I feel like other than like the X Division one or the Pacific one, there is room you could have on the weekly shows for the other stuff. But it's nothing against Proof or nothing against Steve. It's just I personally didn't enjoy it anymore. And I'm in other feds that I won't name, but I mean I'm running those as well. It becomes a bit of a hassle and just repetitive over and over again. I just didn't enjoy it.
Alright, I'm also going to ask you a little bit of a extra question there because you got into the titles. But I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about the world titles involvement in other brands or divisions such as the X Division or Pacific? Do you feel like it could be more?
Um,
Being a sole Pacific and X Division person now, do you feel like that could be the case?
I feel like there is a demand, not a demand. There is a need for it. Sorry, like I said it before, like once or twice. Like obviously with the Pacific shows, you've got the Wrestle Kingdom being the time of the world title we defended. I feel like you could use Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion, perhaps. So like once every like half year, so January and June.
Yeah, fair.
X Division wise, I'm not sure what you could do. Like indie, like really big indie shows. Probably like Bowler, but I know there's a whole tournament behind that anyway. Um, I'm sure there is room for it somewhere down the line, but I feel like Pacific has its fair share because the world title is primarily WWE. But I feel like twice or three times a year for Pacific is fair is like is ideal. But X Division About the same, to be honest. Like, not as much, but occasionally.
All right. And move on to my next question, rather. What is your intention with Cassius for the future?
Cassius for the future. Cassius, whatever the fuck I call him. For the future, I mean, ideally he wants to hold a singles belt. That is the main goal he's had. He's held the Huckle title like 4 times, and that's the only singles belt he's actually held. TWT he's had a few shots at, but he's never managed to get. I feel like the main goal going forward is to get his hands on a major singles title.
Do you feel that you want, like, yourself, like, do you feel like you want to get into any specific feud? You want to, like, work with someone, like, really bad? Like, you don't have to reveal them, obviously, but, like, do you know anyone you'd really want to get into a feud with?
There are a few who I would absolutely love a chance to be in a feud with. But at the moment, the character isn't there yet, in my opinion, anyway. Like, I had the feud with Vacant, obviously, that didn't go the way I wanted. Not because I lost, but because of my availability with work outside of this, that I couldn't put as much into it as I wanted to. So, if I was going to name drop someone, it'd be Vacant. Like, to do a full-on promo sort of segment feud with him. Other than him, there are a few others who I would absolutely love to do things with, but at the moment, the time's not right.
Alright. My next question is also a little bit of a follow-up on that. What would be your intention for the goals of Cassius-Gun as a whole in the future? Because we all know that Cassius-Gun is a very large faction, and that, yeah, we haven't done much of relevance in terms of singles titles. Do you think that there would be any, anything you want to do in the future with Cassius-Gun?
I mean, again, the same thing applies really to myself and the group. Ideally, the role is to have, or in my own mind, the ideal setup is we have a set trios group, some set tags. Like, so we got the tag belts or trios belts. Some of us got the singles belts as well. But naturally, everyone has their own direction that they want to go in. So, for the group in general, I would just love for us to be a recognised threat, like on weekly TV, on weekly shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because right now I feel like Cassius-Gun is in a state where no one really takes us seriously, because we're just the new, we're just the modern revolution, or Steve Evolution, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Like, we're copycats.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
But I feel like we want to be like our own identity. So that's probably the main goal I want going forward, to be a threat and to have our own identity. Really.
Alright, many of us probably know this answer already, but what do you think was your biggest moment in your career so far, and why?
What do you think it is? Like, what do you think my answer is to this?
Probably for your Vacant match, but or the tournament.
Again,
It's either.
I'm gonna say no to that. Primarily because, like I said earlier, it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Like, if I was more involved in it, like if I was able to be more involved, I would absolutely say that was it. But I feel like my biggest moment in my career was when I won the Best Super Juniors tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It was either that or when I got to the final of G1. Because both of those were very significant moments. Super Juniors because I was unbeaten at the time, and I won every match in that tournament that I was in, including the finals. Obviously went on to lose to Capcom, but ultimately I feel like that's my best achievement, because that was when I had just sort of set foot in LLR, and to me, that sort of impact as a rookie really sort of set the tone for my character.
True. Alright, next up. Interesting one here. If you could pick one person in LLR, who would you say promos the best?
Oh. Me? No, I'm kidding. No, the best promo that I've seen on the subreddit, and it probably is a lot from anyone, it's gonna be Vacant. Vacant or Steve, yeah.
Definitely two of the most accolade people in LLR.
Yeah.
And people that are definitely high above and, yeah, known as good promoters and, yeah, just competitors. Anyways, that was pretty quick.
I mean, it's not much of a.
It's just one question. Yeah. What actually led you to founding Cassius-Gun?
That's actually a good question. So naturally, after I won Best of Juniors and I lost to Capcom, I was in a very bad state mentally. I felt like I was a failure. I felt like I didn't belong in LLR because I didn't win the match. And this wasn't kayfabe me. This was real me. Like I felt really bad at that time. Like due to other external stuff as well, just sort of chiming in. But everything ended up, and I sort of wanted to leave. I wanted to just leave LLR altogether. Things went a different way, and people who I met through other servers suggested the idea of, hey, let's form a group and we can sort of be a threat, or what's the word? A combined force. And at the time, I was in such a down state that I thought it'd be good to sort of not only band together, but this band of rookies, sort of like Nexus, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of banding together to sort of take on the established names and the established veterans of LLR.
Alright. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So just go. I'm not sure what I was gonna say, to be honest.
Yeah. So, over the course of Cassius-Gun's history, have you ever had someone either approach have you asked someone and they ended up not actually joining the faction?
Oh, yeah. We've had, I think, at least from my knowledge, 3 examples of that happening. We had one, well, I won't name them, but someone who joined our. So basically, we've got a group chat, as you know.
Yeah.
And someone joined the group chat. Was with us for about, I think, a week. Like, not officially, but they were with us for about a week in a group chat before they realised that we were heel. And they were like, no, I want to be a face. So it was like, doesn't really work. Can't really work together like that.
Yeah, I mean, Cassius-Gun's like a tweener faction now, probably.
Nowadays,
some faces, some heels, but yeah.
Like but at the time of them joining, it was primarily a heel faction.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, when the group was first conceived, we had a 4th person who technically is part of the original 4, but they left pretty much as soon as we started. So I won't name them again, but they're one of the key reasons why the group even formed.
Yeah.
But they didn't stay with us.
Alright.
And
yeah,
there was one other person, and they were someone who I was really looking forward to getting into the group, and then just inactivity and them just being busy prevented it from happening, and since then we moved on.
Yeah. Alright, now you're done with that, I feel like... Actually, I have one more question for you before we move into kayfabe segment, but...
Oh, cool.
What does Cassius actually look like in your mind? I know we were talking about this a bit before, because he was trying to find a new profile picture, and we were just talking about it, and he doesn't actually know, so...
I couldn't. That's right. Yeah, I couldn't really find a good picture for the character, and if I'm being honest, I've never actually considered it because I never personally describe what he looks like. When I write promos, I never actually mention his physique or his body shape or even his height or weight. I just say like, "Oh, hey, it's Cassius or it's Cassius." But if I had to sort of base it off of someone, like it'd probably be a mixture between yeah, Zetsuro Jr. and David Starr. So probably someone of David Starr's height with the ability of Zetsuro Jr.
All right. That's all my questions for the real like you segment. And now we're gonna be moving into the kayfabe segment, which is basically what you think Cassius, like the actual character Cassius, would respond to these. All right.
Oh god.
Yes. Here's my first question for you. How do you feel about your upcoming match with Alexander McKennedy against the tag team champion Stevie Wonder for the belts?
So obviously, me and my partner, McKennedy, are going to be going against them, as you know, as you just said. Naturally, I personally don't feel any kind of fear or regret going into this. I've beaten both of them before, single-handedly, bear in mind. And McKennedy also has a decent record, I guess, against both of them. As a team, they're formidable, I'm sure, but Pacific Aces are the best team right now.
And how do you feel about your victory in the tag team finals? Like, how do you feel like that inspired you in a way?
Definitely. I mean, it wasn't a surprise to me and him. We were confident going into it, and we won it. I mean, obviously, it wasn't an easy battle, but we knew we were going to win because I mean, come on, it was down to proof. I mean, not really a top duo, there are they?
All right. Something that just recently happened. How do you feel about the cancellation of WrestleMania, like LLR WrestleMania?
Now that's a little bit annoying, naturally, because obviously the tag title match was due to happen then, and also McKennedy has his US title match too. But this could be a good thing. This could 100% be a good thing for us. Obviously, we are one of the more elite groups in LLR, so something this won't put us back. If anything, we'll just look more forward. The cancellation is unfortunate, but it is something that we will look forward on and plan for going forward.
All right. Another thing is about this other Royal Rumble that's happening due to the world contender previously, Craven, losing the FFA. Do you think anybody in Cassius-Gun actually has a chance of winning the FFA? Because currently there is Darius Shade, Alexander McKennedy, Unicorn Deck 31, and I believe Faf. So how do you feel about that?
I feel like
as well as Vitamin.
Yeah, I feel like my boys have got this. There's no reason why. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they're gonna dominate the entire thing because obviously the whole group is a very what's the word? A very formidable bunch. But obviously, the boys are gonna be the best ones there. Probably the final five, if anything. If I had to choose one between them, I don't think I could. Vitamin is very formidable, as is Faf, but I personally think it was one of the Raw guys. UD obviously being a US champion before.
It is over the course of Raw, AEW, AEW, 205 Live, and SmackDown. So how do you feel How do you feel everyone? Yeah, as you were saying, how do you feel everyone would specifically perform in those areas?
Oh, jeez.
Who would? I'll make it easy for you. Who would perform the best?
Over my time in the group, I've got oh yeah, it's Nate Matthews. He's my
Your number
yeah,
one pick.
he's the number one pick for this. Like no offense to any of the other guys because they're all great. It's just Nate seems to have an uncanny ability to just perform well in these sort of circumstances.
Fair. All right. Out of Cassius-Gun, who do you think is most likely to gain the World, Pacific, or X Division belt next?
Well, considering that I missed my chance, I think probably Bowie. If anything, I mean, world title wise, I don't think any of us are near that. To be honest, like we could be, but we just management sees that we're not. Pacific wise, there's me, McKennedy, and Bowie, and X Division, Bowie, myself. Well, not myself really. McKennedy again is another threat there, as is Nate. Yeah, so probably the most likely would probably be Bowie.
All right. Um, about management actually. How do you feel about management towards you and others in Cassius-Gun? I know there's definitely been some disputes in the past about some things that have happened, such as a few weeks ago in Dynamite, but
Management clearly has a certain disdain towards the group, has a dislike, is probably the better word. So that we're not, what's the word? We're not
able.
given, well, yeah, we're not really able to sort of be ourselves in a way. We're not given the opportunity. And even when we are, and we do well, it's taken away from us. I mean, since day one, management has had an issue with us, and we welcome that as a group. We welcome it because we just don't give a fuck.
All right. Okay, if you have an arch nemesis, who would that actually be? Everyone at LR, it can be a management member. It can be Joe the janitor for all I care. Who would it be?
Yeah, fuck Joe. Shit. Probably any of the hot dog vendors.
And why is that?
They just get in the way. They distract me from matches because I love hot dogs and.
All right, let's move on to another topic.
We all know.
Yeah. All right. This is the last question. All right. Do you have any closing remarks?
Yes. LLR management. You think you can get away with your shenanigans and your very obvious disdain towards us, towards me, towards the group. Just know that your actions don't go, what's the word? Unrecognised. We know exactly who is against us, and we will come for you. We will make sure that you pay for your actions.
All right, and that's it for this episode of LLR Backstage. Yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed. And Ash, do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And next time, we'll be finding a different interviewee as well. we'll be asking them some questions as well. So I hope you enjoy this series and hope to continue in the near future. And yeah, peace out, everyone.